All right. Indian flowing through my veins. Indian flowing through my veins. I thought that guy had no pants on for a second. I don't. I don't. Food. No, I said Indian food. I ate a quart of Indian food. Quart of Indian food. I ate a quart of Indian. No, no, you didn't. All right, everyone. I had a quart of Indian food flowing through my veins. All right. If you have children listening, I would shut their ears. Okay, see you later. I'm just saying this is as bad as it gets. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure any of this is safe for Twitch. I'm unsure about any of this being safe for Twitch. So we're just gonna need everyone to lock in. All right, this is so bad. Fuck. All right. Part 2 of Ron's Smut. Okay? Part 1, if we remember, Emma Acorn Nipples and Ron had a nice experience in a park while eating McDonald's. Okay? That was part 1. Okay? Chapter 2. Okay, fuck. All right. This is so fucking bad. This is so I gotta blow the text up. I can barely see this on my laptop. How many fucking pages is this? Holy shit. It's a lot of pages. All right, here we go. All right. Holy fuck, this is so bad. All right. Soft piano starts to fill the silent morning air. Hello, it's me. I'm in California dreaming. Whack! I slapped my Adele themed alarm clock across the face to shut her up. Only because Sean Connery said, it's not the worst thing to slap a woman every now and again. Not with a closed fist, but with an open hand. I start every morning like this because my idol, the greatest Bond besides Daniel Craig, said it was absolutely right to have a good slap. In an interview with Barbara Walters a few years back, and I listen to everything famous people say because they can do no wrong. After I shook off the morning pain from slapping a plastic face Adele, I blindly grabbed my phone off the nightstand and clicked on YouTube Shorts to start my morning scroll through food porn, golf videos, and chicks half my age dancing to songs they shouldn't be dancing to. Do they even know what WAP is? I wondered to myself as I quickly scrolled up so I didn't get put on the same list that Jeffrey Epstein was on. The scrolling continued for a couple of seconds until I was stopped in my tracks by the glow of a perfectly formed burrito oozing with queso, chicken, cilantro, lime rice, and while a sensual voice was migrating through my speakers. Happy National Burrito Day from your friendly neighborhood Chipotle. Today and today only, get free delivery with any burrito ordered on our app. So order one right now, so you can cut off the top and stick your dick inside of that burrito and feel that warmth of that our house-made ingredients wrapped around your Johnson. Some say it's the closest thing to an actual vagina. Maybe I made up the last part, but you get the point. I slid closed my YouTube app and quickly opened the Chipotle app to put my order in right at 10:45 a.m. when those doors right at 10:45 a.m. when those doors swing open and the horde of semi-obese burrito enthusiasts storm through. What would be warmer? brown or white rice, I said while thinking about what Ron Jr. would prefer. Gotta be white rice. They keep it fresh throughout the day. No beans. I don't need a blowout. All right, on to the meat. Let's do Wait a second. Let's do the honey chipotle chicken. That is the best. Plus, it is oozing with flavor and a sticky glaze that makes me graze. My mouth started to salivate at the thought of this girthy boy touching my lips. We need veggies because, healthy. Let's see here. Throw on some pico, corn, guac, and of course, cheese for my lactose intolerant asshole. I pondered my burrito making skills for several minutes while scrolling back and forth between the plethora of options, just thinking I was missing a quintessential ingredient. Man, this burrito seems a little dry. It's like a nursing home inside that tortilla. What can we do to lube it up a little bit? I know Walter in apartment 7C would just grab the bottle of KY jelly with a crusted over lid in his drawer that he's been saving since the Second World War when he stole it off of a German soldier he killed while fighting somewhere near the border of Poland. Betty in 7B loves that bottle of lube. She says nothing works or feels better. It aged like a fine wine. But but what can I do to fuck me? But what can I do to lube this burrito up? I said out loud to an audience of my own ears. Then, just like Archimedes in 250 BC, when he discovered how to measure the volume of irregular objects, I shouted, "Eureka! I got it! Let's throw on some of that new cilantro lime zest. That will moisten that fat boy right up." My order was complete and sent to the store where Emma, my DoorDash driver of the day, or in other words, my pimp, was going to pick it up and deliver it to me right away. It was at this moment that I had a startling revelation. I'm going to fuck my burrito. Maybe I should order a second one to eat it. I had about 15 minutes before my pimp arrived with my date, and I had to get ready. I decided a special occasion such as this needs the fine china from the cabinet that has never been opened. I blindly reached up and felt the plates my mom gave me for when I had company over. Let's just say I never have company over. Dust coated every inch of the plate, and not the dust you can just blow off with one big bad wolf breath, but the dust that is caked on there thicker than Paul Hollywood's pecker goo from when Mary Berry jerked him off behind the white tent during a filming session of The Great British Bake Off. I think it was like season 3, episode 3, when Mary and Paul were filming the masterclass episode. Mary showed Paul a masterclass in rubbing out your dough, if you know what I mean. More like Great British Jerk Off, am I right? I said to a couple scrub daddy onlookers. I grabbed my hard scrub daddy from the sink and started to rub vigorously, trying to get Paul Hollywood's dusted goo off my plate. I look when I I like when the scrub daddy is a little hard. The stuff just comes right off. I said while staring at the scrub daddy's mouth. I wonder if my dick would fit inside of his little mouth. Only one way to find out. I thought while getting lost in the emptiness of his eye holes. I slowly began to bring the scrub daddy's orange face down towards my zipper, unzipped my tightly woven zipper, and pulled out my ding dong. The doorbell yelled at me from afar. Holy shit, my burrito is here, I said while I dropped a scrub daddy on the floor and zipped my pants up. I ran down the stairs faster than a workout influencer toning their ass on the Stairmaster. I swung the door open to greet my pimp, and to my surprise, it was Emma. But not just any Emma. Emma Acorn Nippers from Camp Wanna Stick It In Me. Silence stood between us for a few seconds till I said, Emma, what the hell are you doing here? Ron, is that you? She responded while rubbing her eyes. Yee. Before I could get the S out in the word yes, Emma's right hand came careening across my face like it was Sean Connery teaching his dates a lesson in the 80s. Slap! I felt a sensation like I've never felt before. I was eerily turned on. What the hell was that for? I asked while rubbing the paint off my face. Emma looked at me with such anger, her voice was turning into a suburban dad on vacation to Mexico who forgot to pack the sunblock. You never called me after our intimate burrito eating session in the park. I looked at her like a boy whose puppy just ran away from home and said, I must have accidentally crumbled up your card in the McGriddle wrapper and threw it away. I'm so sorry. I looked everywhere for that card. I tore my car apart. I looked through every couch cushion in my house and dug through the trash. Hell, I even called Waste Management to see if they had seen it. They laughed me off the phone, which I thought was extremely rude of them to do so. Emma's face started to regain white in it, and a smile snuck through the crevice in snuck through the crevice of her frowning face while she said, I knew there had to be some excuse. There was way too much passion for you not to call. I gleamed a smile back at her and asked, So, what are you doing here? Why are you delivering for DoorDash? I thought you were a police officer. Emma let out a deep breath and said, Well, you know how we had that passionate breakfast in the park? I looked at Emma with one eyebrow raised like she could smell what the rock was cooking, and I responded with the shyest, Yes. Funny thing about that, um, there were cameras littered all over the park, and let's just say we got caught doing the burrito nasty, and the whole department saw it. So let's just say they put me on unpaid suspension for a couple of months. I had to pick up a second job to afford my bills. Thus, why you see me in your doorway today. I looked at her, feeling so bad for what was presumably my fault, and said, I'm sorry. Somehow I feel I am responsible for getting you suspended. She put her cold palm on my cheek to ice the pain she caused with her slap and said, No, Ron, it wasn't your fault. Passion overtook us like the Hulk, and just like Bruce Banner, I was powerless to resist. Her hands were so cold, my body was so warm. She held the bag of Chipotle that I had now forgotten up in the air while looking at me with her puppy dog eyes and said, This food is getting cold. Are you going to let me in? And Oh, we're sharing, I said with a sly smile. Emma then forced her lips onto mine and shoved me through my door with her lips attached to my lips. The strength of her lips was unrivaled. I couldn't pull away, even if I wanted to. She led me up the stairs to the kitchen counter where she shoved all my appliances out of the way. Well, that seemed unnecessary to break all my appliances, I said while peeling my lips off hers. Sorry. I've been watching too many rom-coms dreaming about this day, and my inner Rachel McAdams took over. Emma said with her back pressed up against the kitchen counter. It's fine. I'll buy new ones. Where were we? I said while grabbing Emma by the hips. I took over the reins like I was a jockey riding Seabiscuit to a win in the Kentucky Derby. I threw her on top of the kitchen counter and ripped open her shirt to reveal a white bra with red writing that said Happy National Burrito Day in big bold letters. I stopped everything I was doing and looked at her in disbelief and saying, I don't think I've ever been more turned on in my life. Emma started to slowly take off her pants and said, You think you're turned on now? Wait till you see these. Her pants came down to reveal white lace panties that read, Insert burritos here, with an arrow pointing south. My eyes got bigger than a fly fluttering towards a bug zapper and said, Oh, really? I think I can do that. I grabbed that Chipotle burrito faster than Jackie Chan an upper leg kick. Okay. Oh, fuck. I grabbed that. Fuck, where am I? I grabbed that bag faster than a Jackie Chan upper leg kick in the 90s and cut it wide open. I seized that foiled up masterpiece from the confines of brown paper bag jail and peeled back the foil to reveal the most perfect burrito I've ever laid eyes on. It was like one half of a heavy set model's ass. I ripped open the tortilla with my teeth, and all the ingredients started to spill out everywhere. Rice found its way into every crease and corner in the kitchen, including mine. Emma glanced at me in disgust and said, That better not happen to you that quickly. Now, why don't you grab that plastic black fork and eat that burrito off of me? I went flush with excitement and said, Yes, ma'am. I reached for the fork from the ruined Chipotle bag and started to dump the burrito inside of her belly button and any other hole I could find. I be fuck. I, I began to gently eat Chipotle slop out of her belt, savoring every belly button, savoring every bite. I leaned in close to her ear and whispered to her as essentially as possible, "Look, my very own personal burrito bowl." Emma, Emma laughed and said, "Fill me up a fork and shove it inside my mouth, you filthy creature." I grabbed the container of green cilantro lime sauce from the bag and said, "Would you like some cilantro lime sauce with that forkful?" Of course I do. Pour Shrek's load all over me like I'm Fiona stuck in a castle waiting to get rescued by you and your trusty steed of a cock. I started to pour the sauce inside Alma's belly button, slowly working my way to her mouth. By the time I was done, I made a river from belly button to mouth. I, I took a fork full of Chipotle, stuck the butt end of the fork in my mouth, and slithered my way up her like an anaconda in the Amazon hunting its prey, making sure not to miss out on any of that delicious concoction of Shrek's delicious cum. Okay, I reached the mouth of the sauce. I reached the mouth of the sauce river and stuck that fork inside of her cavernous hole that sat between two perfect dimples. Deeper and deeper I went. I felt like I was Indiana Jones in search of the gag reflex. That's my favorite line. Half of the fork disappeared at this point. I kept going, but she was like a sword swallower with this Chipotle fork until I heard her say, "What was that?" I said as I slowly pulled the fork out of her mouth. Emma let out a slight Zoolander I got the black lung cough and said, "No gag reflex. Pretty wild, huh?" My mouth hung wide open like a kid who just saw his first ever magic trick and said, I don't think I can go as deep as that fork, but I can try." Fuck. Hold on, Fortnite just asked the question. Yes, I'm still here. Okay. All right. It was at that point that I broke Ron Jr. out of zipper jail and dropped him on the counter like a dead fish being let loose from from the constraints of a bald eagle's beak onto a blanket of slack water. Thud was the sound I hoped Ron Jr. made when he slapped the counter, but it sounded more like a breeze brushing your hair on a warm summer day. Even though it wasn't impressive, I had to act like it was. So I puffed out my chest and tried to force all of the blood from my body to Ron Jr. "What do you think of that?" I asked while nervously awaiting her response. Ding! A faint ding came from Emma's crumpled up pants. Her eyes then glanced toward her phone and she said, "Oh shit, I have to go. That's another DoorDash order. I need to go pick that up." "Right now?" I asked while fully exposed. Emma then folded herself back up, grabbed a paper towel, and started to wipe up all the fluids and sauces that were strewed across both of our bodies and said, "I'm so sorry to leave you hanging like this. Literally hanging. But I do really need I do really need the money, so I have to go. But here's my card again. Don't lose it this time." Emma reached down and set her card on top of Ron Jr.'s now limp porch and then leaned in and gave him a little peck on the cheek and headed for the door. "Emma, wait. When will I see you again?" I yelled, naked and afraid that I'd never lay eyes on her stunningly beautiful body ever again. She turned around and gave me one of those heart-melting smiles and said, "Hopefully sooner than last time. Ball's in your court, big man. Don't misplace my card this time." She then turned around and walked out the door as I stood staring out the window in disbelief at what just happened. My eyes then glanced around the kitchen at the mess that was created by two people's passion for each other and burritos. That's when I began to fixate on an orange circular object smiling at me from the tile floor. My shoulders shrunk in shame and I said, "Well, I guess you'll have to do, Scrub Daddy."